Soldiers would come and invade polling stations, where they would come with pre-ticked ballots, where they would come and pick ballot papers, tick and then stuff into the box. You must have witnessed the inflation of the register. You saw how Museveni's votes were inflated. You saw how the entire electoral process turned into a war situation, a situation of terror. Those of you who are young and not as old as myself must have seen, or you cannot have seen, people of my age must have seen how Museveni participated in the 1980 election, 1996, 2001, 2006, 2011, 2016, and 2021. So you get to the inevitable conclusion that he's the commonest and only common denominator, and therefore you know that any election that Museveni participates in can never be a peaceful election, can never be a free and fair election demanded by the Constitution of the Republic. You must have seen how Museveni has been humiliated at the polling stations across the country, except where there was no voting. In this country, there are places which Museveni has turned into no-go zones. They find your supporter, they find your agent, your coordinator, he will be arrested. Thousands of Ugandan people are in prison. They are in CMI in Buya, which is the latest torture chamber created by Museveni and his henchmen. Much India, the court martial, it is turned into a place for settling political scores. A conglomeration of all those and other complaints would lead us to one inevitable conclusion, that Museveni cannot be left to cheat and steal scot-free. That background is enough to bring us here, and this is where we are. This is one of the steps and stages in our democratization processes. And I think it is the civil way to go. We've had questions. How do you go to those courts? How do you trust them, etc.? You must let every Ugandan and every Ugandan institution do their work. The voters did their work, they spoke. The Electoral Commission facilitated one man to cheat against the voters' will. The Electoral Commission did its work rather imperfectly. We are here. You must allow court to do its work. Allow court do its work and execute its mandate. You want me to tell you the next step after court? You want to hear that? Yes, celebration and swearing in a new president. So if Judge Ayoweri thought he's safe, he's not yet there. No time for merrymaking. I know he's hiding. We are going to look for him, we shall trace him, and we shall serve him the summon from court. That's the way to go. This game is not yet over until it's over. Because the Electoral Commission, the suspects must also be given time to file their response. We are also continuing to collect evidence from across the country. We may continue in hiding the same way we've been doing, because we know they've been looking for these papers. We know they are looking for more evidence. Immediately after the election, they placed our president under house arrest to avoid him signing this petition. For us to be able to get him out to sign this petition, we had to go to court, as you are aware. Immediately after the election, as we were collecting our declaration of results forms from across the country, they were arresting, torturing, and beating our coordinators wherever they would find them with DRA forms. We were photocopying our DRA forms for purposes of tallying. They went to where we were photocopying from, arrested the person photocopying, and took them. Stupid enough, some of them even had to acknowledge them as exhibits. Exhibit over which offense? General inquiry. That they were conducting a general inquiry. The same uncivilized group came and took over our offices in Kamwocha. As we speak, we cannot access some of the documents. And they thought rather mischievously that That way we would not be able to file this petition. I can tell you, we have filed it. They are looking for these papers. Some are somewhere up in the sky. They will not access them. The perennial suspect, Yoweri, Tibuhaburwa, Museveni, Yeseri, Kaguta. The other one is the usual suspect, the statutory suspect, Electoral Commission. And the third is the Attorney General of Uganda, who let the dogs out onto the streets. Those are the suspects, those are the respondents.
So are you most at the cost of court that you've...
the costs we have paid.
And how much was that?
The statutory fee.
What did you say will happen after the court?
After the court? Celebration.
My question was, there were two options.
Uganda will be safe. Uganda? Ekituleese wano si kizibu kutegeera. Okuva edda nedda bwe bakubbanga enkoko ng'okwata agibye n'omutwala ku kitawuluzi ku muluka ne mmugyawo ne mmutwala ku ggombolola. Museveni yatubba tumulese ku ggombolola. Bwe mumusangako eyo mutukubire kati mmanya ali ku misinde adduka. Kubanga alemeddwa okutubbako empapula gye tubadde tuzikolera nga batuyigga era nga tebamanyi. Babba declaration of results forms. Ne bakuba abaana baffe ababeera nga bazikuŋŋaanya mu field, ne babasiba, ne bazitwala. Ne balowooza nti ekyo tekibamalidde, ne bakwata president ne bamugalira mu maka ge aleke kusayininga petition. Ne batakoma nti obumu ku bujulizi twabukweka mu bbanga mu bwengula. Ab'omulembe gwa Museveni kizibu okutegeera ki kye twakola okuwanika obujulizi mu bbanga. Ab'omulembe guno mukitegeera. Omubbi tumukutte tumulese ku ggombolola. Tumaze okumuwaabira ne semanisi zifulumire. Ekiddako kumuyigga we tunaamusanga wonna. Oba yeekwese wansi wa kitanda, oba yeekwese mu kiraalo kya Nteeze, akimanye nti tumuyigga era tugenda mufuna tumuwe empapula zino atajja gguma zambiro. Alina okuggyako wano ate mwetaaga. Museveni tumwetaaga mu Kaguli ekyabeere ng'akimanyi. Mumanyi bulungi nti Museveni abadde mu bululu bwonna obwa Uganda obubaddemu obuvuyo. 1980 ab'emyaka gyange mukimanyi. Najja mu Kakyenda mu mukaaga 2001 2006 2011 2016 ne kano kasembyeyo okwetabamu. Nga konna ajja akoleramu effujjo n'obuvuyo. Abavubuka ab'emyaka gya Yoweri Tibuhaburwa abakola effujjo mu bululu ne batatta n'ensi n'erinnya lya Uganda bubakeeredde. Guno gwe gugenda okubeera omulundi gwe okwesimba mu kalulu ka Uganda okukakoleramu effujjo. Eno y'emu ku steps gye gimu ku mitendera mwe tuyise okutebenkeza Uganda. Tugenda kujja ku kiddako era mumbuuzizza nti naye kati bwe munaava mu kkooti ki ekiddako? Bwe tuva mu kkooti ekiddako kujaguza. Mubadde mulina ekirala kye musuubira mbagambe ekyo.
Well, we've asked court first of all to annul the election and declare order for a fresh election. Then number two, we have asked court to make orders to the effect that President Museveni, as a denominator in all the election practices that have been happening in Uganda, is restrained from participating, and we shall give reasons. We have asked the court to direct that the army and other security operatives that are not police refrain from the electoral process as it is an interference. Then we are asking the court to direct that the lawyers of the applicant, the petitioner, be paid the cost of the petition.
The process.
Today, if we succeed in serving President Museveni and the other respondents, they will be given 10 days. After the 10 days, we'll come back to court for the mention and probably for conferencing on how to proceed. Within that time, we shall now start hearing the case, and after that, it has to be disposed of within 45 days as per the amendment in the Constitution.
So after the 10 days, they'll be left with how many?
With about 35 days within which to dispose of the petition. Sasa leo tukimalize kupatia President Museveni Electoral Commission na Attorney General karatasi ya koti summons, atakuwa na siku 10. Siku 10 yeye wanaweza kuleta defense yawa. Wakileta defense tutaanza kusikia hii case, itachukua 45 days.
Tujetaka ko
Okay, one, Tuliamusima Geoffrey is my name. Today we came for the bail application of our colleagues. There are 49 in numbers. We all know that between where they were arrested from, that was in prison in Masaka, to bring them here, most of them were tortured. Two, we also know that most of them are family members. Their family are still stranded out there because of their arrest and detention here. Three, we all know that because we came for the bail application, it is a constitutional right. And because this honorable court has the discretion to grant it, we expected the same to be done today. It's unfortunate that our colleagues were not, one, given an opportunity to proceed with the bail application. The state or the prosecutor came up and stated that they were not ready to continue with the proceedings today because they need to file a reply. Of course, their reasoning comes in the sense that we served them late. It's unfortunate that it's not us who served them late. It is this honorable court, upon serving us, they also served them, meaning that they had ample time since the 18th day of January till now. However, court has granted their adjournment until early next week so that we can come back and we hear or we proceed with the bail application. On that day, we are expectant that our colleagues, 49 in numbers, will be released on bail. We have
make it to the next date.
One, we have stated it on court record that most of them were tortured. Now, it is one thing to state it, it's another thing to see it. Between me and you over there, we have witnessed it. Most of them cannot walk. The ladies cannot even sit well. The gentlemen cannot even speak. Now, that alone needs urgent medical attention. Unfortunately, when we presented it before court, we were not able to be given that. We are believing as the legal team that come that day, if there is no success, we shall proceed with the procedure as the law says. One, we are also, and I believe after us meeting, we shall see the way forward of how we can file a matter for them to be taken for medical attention so that all can be well for them and their families.
Kati ng'abantu abalina eŋŋanda, abalina abaana, abalina abazadde abali eno, we came with great expectations. Naye tebiggwaayo. Ekisingira ddala obukulu olunaku lwa leero, abaana bano mbalabye era ne njogerako nabo ne bankakasa nti bagumu. Mark my words, oba abali munda bagumu bwe batyo, abali ebweru mwe mulina okusinga okuguma ennyo, kubanga mwe bwe mutaguma baba basibirwa bwereere tebibaamu nsonga. Nempunzika nti alina amagezi ategeere. Abali ebweru mugume nnyo nnyini ddala n'okusinga abali munda.